Uros, congrats on the victory. Do you like shots like that where you kind of get, stung initially and then you come back and then immediately just wow everybody with a knockout?
Yeah, that's a foolish thing of me. I've done it before as well. My last fight, Puna was able to capitalize on me being. I need to be more alert in these first minutes. Most of my fights do end in first minutes or first five, but I really need to work on staying more alert in the initial touching period, because everybody's so sharp and so fast, and I tend to be loose, I relaxed, I don't think too much about it. I'm like, okay, no thoughts in my head, just blank. I should be a little more sharp. I'll work on that. So I don't want it to happen. It's foolish of me at this level to make those kind of mistakes, but it happens. It's a fight, man.
It's a fight, and like you said, it's at a high level, but you got to be immensely proud that you could take a shot and then you come right back, recover from it, and deal a nasty blow like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I am proud, but again, I am not very happy that that's the way it goes, because I can show better. I know how I train. My training partners see me. I am way better than that. I shouldn't even be getting touched, but here I am.
Maybe in the warm-up, just tell coach, just give me a good one real quick.
We had a great warm-up. I was happy with it. So I don't know, man. I was really stressed this week. I was actually really scared. I mean, I have to admit it. This is a scary sport, but this week was a little tough. My gut, I had some issues, so I was pretty scared. How is everything? After weight cut, how are you going to get through refueling? When you have gut problems, nutrients are not being absorbed. You're not getting the proper energy in. So I was a little bit worried about all of that. So I'll definitely work on getting that all checked up and taken care of after this fight. So it should be better for the next one.
Is that a normal weight cut thing, or is it just this particular week for some reason the gut was acting up a little bit?
And it was just recently that gut started acting up in the last months or so. It just I had to really watch out my diet. I had to eat specific foods and stay away from red meat, which I love to eat, and just a little bit trying to experiment. Also not enough time to experiment because I was going to fight. So it wasn't my regular diet that I go to. Luckily, weight cut went well. I wasn't too happy or excited about our refueling phase because I just couldn't eat. I wasn't hungry. There was no appetite. But, it's something that you get better as you go. And there's better weight cuts, worse weight cuts. So it's just I need to fine-tune my body just a little more.
Well, even that almost sounds like something that you could be proud of, that you overcame something like that. That shows experience. That something kind of pops up that you're able to kind of work that through.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I had a lot of bad thoughts in my head, but luckily I have my team with me, and they said cut the crap, cut the shit. Don't read that bullshit in your phone about your gut and this and that. Just we got to get through it. Matt was the one that walked up to me and he's like, yo, listen, there's nothing we're going to do right now. There's 3 hours before the fight. You're going to leave that fucking phone and get your mind right, and we go fight, and then we're going to worry about your gut. So
that's why they say have great corners, right?
Yes, exactly, yeah. Team is, you don't see these guys. They're behind the curtain, behind the cage, but they're everything. Without them, I don't think anybody could do anything on their own, They might try, but I don't think there's success without a good team. So that's a big one for me.
And that being said, you're back on the winning path here in the UFC. Were there things that you really focused on in this particular fight camp that you took away from either the last fight that you wanted to work for, or was it just that fight didn't even really matter? You just had to get back on
I'll
track?
Be honest, I just kept training. I didn't think too much of it. I have a teammate that's one of the more experienced guys in the UFC, Benil Dariush himself. He's been through it all. He's had 8-10 fight win streaks, 2-3 fight loss, 2-3 knockouts, that he got on himself. So he's seen it all and overcame it many times. And all glory to God for believing in him, believing in himself to get through all of that. And I just saw him and saw what he went through. And I said, I have him next to me, and I believe myself in God, and I believe in myself. So what is there to stop me? I can lose. It's no problem. Maybe God was protecting me from whatever it is. I lost, no problem. On to the next one. Just go back to training, rest a little bit. Went visit Alaska, one of my favorite places in the world. I get my nature time in there. I don't get in nearly enough of that in Orange County. It's way too busy for me, and I always think like, man, I can't wait to get out of here. And I go to Alaska and I recharge, and I just love being there. So God willing, I'll be able to move there and buy a house in the near future. That was the plan. We'll see if they plug me with the 50K again. That'll definitely help.
Oh, that's incredible. I hope you get that. That sounds
Thank
wonderful.
you. Appreciate that.
You know, I'm sure the game plan wasn't, get struck and then get the quick knockout. But what was the game plan coming in tonight?
I just staying sharp. I knew what I have in my hands. It was just staying sharp to a point where I can touch him, and once I touch him, if I can put a combination together, I knew it was going to go out. It's not about nothing against him. I don't even know the guy or nothing. It's just anybody. If I can get my hands right on them, they're going to at least hit the canvas, if not go completely out. He went unconscious, so that's all it is.
So how much time do you give yourself to enjoy this victory? You going to try to get back in nature, or are you back in the gym on Tuesday?
I will try to get back to the nature just a little bit, and I'll go back to the gym right away. I intend on being again here one more time this year before the year's over.
Apex or just UFC in general?
Personally, I prefer fighting in front of the crowd, but I take what I get. I did get a fight in front of the crowd. Unfortunately, that fight fell through. I was sick with sinus infection. I was supposed to fight Chaos Williams in New Jersey, and I was really excited about that fight, and I just could not fight. Like, I was so sick. I even tried. I didn't even want to say nothing to anybody, and my teammates were like, bro, you cannot be fighting. Like, I couldn't even breathe through my nose. It was so bad. I had 2 weeks of antibiotics, and it was one of those strong was like a levofloxacin or something. It was terrible. Probably why my gut is also so messed up. So it is what it is. That's the life of a fighter. I'm not the first nor the last one, and that's just the part you have to go through. You're going to go through some medication and some infections and deviated septums and nose surgeries and all of that stuff. So, I'm not the first or the last, as I said.
Yeah, and I know, like you said, you'd rather fight in front of crowds, but I have to ask, since the stomach was messing you up, with you being here in the Apex and having the nutritionist and everything over at the PI, were they able to kind of help you out? Did that help you out in this situation?
Yes, definitely. Glenn has been very helpful. I believe Hannah is her name. I can't remember exactly, but they've been very helpful, and they always are. It's really a blessing having them there. They go to extent to come inside the sauna while we're cutting weight.
Wow.
So we don't have to go talk to them. They stand in the sauna. Hey, how you doing? Can I get something for you? What's going on? So it really is a blessing to have them, and I think their spot is really important in the whole theme of the UFC Performance Institute.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Congrats on the victory.
Appreciate it.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
In your post-fight interview inside the Octagon with DC, you had mentioned that your heart is full. I know this statement win was so big for you. How did you feel like this win not only proved to the UFC, but proved to yourself, what you're about?
I wasn't doubting myself. I know where I am, and I know where I belong, and I know why I got the opportunity that I got. So my heart is full, even though, I have sometimes... you're angry at certain things like, oh man, I want to do better at this. I want to fight more often. Now I got sick. The fight fell through. You get so, caught up in all this BS, but eventually it passes. And like I said in a previous interview, when it's really good, it's going to pass. And then when it's bad, it's also going to pass. So I keep that in mind as I go and as I advance. And I know if I keep doing the right thing, the things are going to come the way I want them.
I think what's interesting, and this might be some similarities to what you just answered, when you go through a camp, there's so much that goes into it, and there's a lot of obstacles that you'd face. What do you feel like you learned most about yourself through all this camp specifically?
Just reinforcing my belief in God. I think that was the really important part. I put a lot of time into praying. I don't really attend churches or gatherings where people do pray to God, and I just kind of do it on my own, and I've always have. But it's as I grow as a person and as I am getting older, my relationship with God seems to be growing a lot better, and I am just really appreciative of that, and just able to reflect on that and look back, and that's probably the biggest thing that's had a lot of impact on me and improvement of my quality of life as well, and my mental, emotional state, physical.
Why do you think you've seen that growth as you've gotten older? Do you think it's perspective?
I think I'm just growing as a person. There's a saying in my family, we say that we kind of ripen later a little bit as we're older, because they always ask me, why aren't you married already? Why don't you have kids? I'm like, shoot, man, I can't do it on my own, So it's just comes with time. And I think also my belief in in God and my relationship with Jesus Christ is also coming to like to fulfillment as I'm growing, you know?
How have you seen that impact your not only yourself spiritually, but emotionally, mentally, physically, through every the day to day?
It just gives me a peace of mind, you know. I don't really ever ask for much. I always make sure just to say my thanks for things that I have, for my healthy family and everybody that are still alive and around me. And I had some people that are close to me, some close ones of them, their family passed, and I was there to witness some of that, and it was really hard. And I haven't really been to like a funeral, and I haven't seen these things up close like that, and it really affected me in a way that I didn't know it would. I was very saddened to see, and I mean, this is all part of life, but it made me also reflect and look at some of those things in a different way, because time, it doesn't wait for anybody. It's just passing by. And as I look back, I've been here 5 years already in the UFC, and it feels like a blink of an eye, you know, and career for a fighter is not very long. So I just really have to enjoy and embrace these moments that I have.
So if your life was a book, what would the title of this chapter be for you?
You can do it. Yeah, that's probably the...
Congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
Uros, congrats on the performance.
Thank you.
And thanks for being so transparent. I think we all do that. Like, you're like, oh, this cough won't go away. WebMD. Yes, I need a lung transplant immediately.
Yeah.
You just take it there for no reason.
Yeah,
And
exactly, yeah.
even a bigger victory that you got past that with this violent knockout. I got to see it live. It was a thing of beauty. But please walk me through that finish. Throw the shot. You take your head off the center line. It was just fantastic. But
Thank you.
Please, sir, tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I as I said, I wasn't very sharp in the first seconds. I got clipped right away, dropped. I was able to get up, and he tried to rush me, but he saw that I'm composed, so he didn't. And yeah, I saw that he's a little square, you know, and there was a straight shot for me there, and I just was able to squeeze it in, and it put his lights out. I didn't think too much. I didn't react too much. Nothing. It just was there. So I just followed the instinct of a fighter, and another instinct was to roll under, because I expected, had I missed, he would have come back with something. So I just rolled under instinctually, which is a lot of things I do. And yeah, it was there, you know. Some of my friends asked me if that last shot was necessary. They texted me. I mean, I feel a little bit bad now, but he did put his hands up at the weigh-ins. I felt a little disrespected. I'm like, what? You know, we're not gonna fight right now. It's weigh-ins. Like, what? We're professionals. I'm not good. You know, what do you want me to react to your? You know, so that was. I felt a little bit disrespected, but maybe it's just my ego getting, you know, poked. I shouldn't have an ego in that scenario, but that's why I threw the last shot to make sure it's cemented. You know.
It is what it is. Might have been super necessary at that point.
Yeah, some would say Jorge.
In boxing, we had a guy, Deontay Wilder, who at one point had 39 knockouts out of 40 fights.
Uh-huh.
You also got tons of finishes, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you die by the sword, live by the sword.
Yeah.
There's no other way, right?
Yeah, that's how I fight. I enjoy it, and I take a lot of pride in it. I think this is what fighters are. You know, there's some guys here that come and try to play the point game, and I do not. I mean, I'm not gonna disrespect it, but I also like don't think that's that fun to watch. Don't think that is so. Like you can't finish. You should pursue it. You know, and most of the fighters do, and the ones that don't, I think they can look up to some of us that get these performance bonuses, and you know, just take the game to the next level.
No question, man. And last for me, let's talk about that game to the next level. We haven't had, it's early in the night.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen 2 back-to-back knockouts. Let's say yours gets that 50,000. What would you do with that?
As I said, I'm trying to buy a house in Alaska, so it would definitely come in handy. I think regardless of the fact I will buy it, but it would definitely help. You know how it goes. There's big expenses. Benil, my teammate, and I, we plan on going hunting there. We're looking to get some moose meat, some elk meat, and all that stuff to bring down to California, help ourselves with the weight cuts, and just, you know, it's the high quality meat, as well as fish. I go fishing there all the time, salmon fishing, halibut fishing. My coach, Matt, he lives in Alaska. I always go stay with him. We go do fun stuff, camping, fishing, you name it. I mean, everything you can think of. If you guys look at my Instagram, I usually post some of that stuff from Alaska. It is definitely by far my favorite place. And I mean, maybe I'm already saying too much. I do not want anybody moving there. There's enough people there, okay? Like, you guys can stay in California, in Vegas, wherever you are. Do not come to Alaska. That's for Alaskans, okay?
I know, man. Congrats on the win, sir.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Just a couple of quick ones for me, man. Congratulations first off. You mentioned there that you noticed that shot was available to you. Your opponent, he's a very tough fighter, but he has been caught in similar instances in the past, whether it was on The Ultimate Fighter or one of his most recent UFC fight. Was that something you and your team kind of looked at in preparations for this fight?
I mean, we all believed in me that I can finish this fight, and I always say that it's just a matter of me getting my shot in, and he's going to feel it. What we thought is once I tag him, he's going to start to grapple or wrestle, which we were ready for, and we trained to grapple and wrestle. Even for Puna's fight, I trained a lot of grappling and wrestling, and probably why I kept my hands low in those first 30 seconds, because I expected him to shoot right away. Even himself was saying in an interview how scared he was that I would just crack him early on, and you know, it went his way. Congrats to him. Puna is a great guy. I've known him for years now, and I don't mind what happened. You know, maybe sometimes in future we meet again. I'll try to do better. But again, you know, he's coming down from middleweight. I'm coming up from lightweight. He had a little bit of an advantage, I would say, there as a puncher's chance. But it's all good. Now, maybe he should. He's a big guy. Maybe he can consider moving up a weight class. When I moved, I felt better. I could take more shot. So I don't know. It's one of those things. You got to find your body's natural ability to take the weight cuts well and to take the shots if you need to take the shots. Nobody likes to take the shots, but if you have to, you should be able to, you know.
For sure. And we've seen you now twice in the calendar year of 2025, and I think
Yeah.
you're a guy that many people like to see on these fight cards because you always bring violence. And so is the plan to be, you know, more active and get multiple fights in the calendar years as, you know?
Yes, intent was three fights this year. God willing, I stay healthy. I already tried. This is the third attempt. I had 2 fights and a third attempt because once I was really sick. So I'm going to try to be back before this year is over. What is now, August? Yeah, there's plenty of time. So I will definitely squeeze at least one more in.
And last one for me, it's just over a year since the transition to the new location over at King's MMA, and both you and Benio are back in the win column. So how's life been since that transition?
Great. We don't really I don't even think about that. We don't even talk about that. We just keep training. All of our teammates have won recently. Like 4 or 5 of the guys, we all won. But then again, when it's good, it'll pass. You know, I remind myself of that always. And the bad times will come, and they will pass again, and we'll stay on top.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of the day.